So our expected journey for today. So you are here. And then right away after this, I will introduce something about software requirements. Yeah, I will explain something, a brief explanation. And then we'll play some games. Yeah, so we'll play some games, guessing games. Yeah, a very simple one. It won't take too much time. And then we have this some fundamental principles. Yeah, some fundamental principle which I want you to relate with the guessing game. Okay, so once you have some ideas, I will ask you question through Mentimeter and you provide me the answers. Yeah, how can you relate the guessing game with the fundamental principle? All right, from there, um, after the Mentimeter, I'll provide the answers, which is about the 3 lessons, and then why software engineering or software requirements are very important for you to find and to conduct the software requirement process. Yeah, and finally at the end is to have, I will provide you a slide telling you some giving you some tasks, yeah, on self-learning. All right, okay, got that. That are the things that will happen today. Alright, so people use different software for different tasks. So this is the introduction to software requirements. So listen carefully because it's actually related to the game and it's related to the next the things that we will discuss today. Yeah. Okay, so this is a fact. People use different software for different tasks. Do you agree? People use different software for different tasks. Do you agree with this statement? Hmm? Do you agree with this statement? People use different software for different tasks. Setuju tak? Setuju? Okay. So you are among the people. You have used so many different software, right? And for so many things, for different things. Yeah. Okay. So in the diagram, these are actually, if you can see the icons, yeah, these are all software, not all, but some of them, yeah, some of them that have been used in the education field. Okay, so as you can see, there are different tasks in education. So let's say if I want to have an assessment, I want to conduct assessment on you, so perhaps I can use some software, right? So I want to use, if I want to manage my course, perhaps I use my guru or something like that. Okay, so different tasks, different software, something like that. Okay, so this is also another statement that we can say it's a fact also. People use different software for similar tasks, not just for different tasks, but different software for different tasks. Do you agree? Do you agree with this statement? If you do agree, can you name any software that it can become alternative to any other software? You have something that you want to do, but you have options, whether you want to use this or this. Can you name any of the software? Try name the software. I know it's a yes, but try to name the software. Let's take one. Okay, browser. Good. So browser, what are your options for browser? We have now we have Microsoft Edge, yeah, replacing the Internet Explorer, right? So we have Chrome, we have Mozilla Firefox, etc., etc. Okay, so Kamala Shwari said quizzes and Kahoot, yeah, if you want to play some games during our classes, true. Safari for the browser, Zoom, Webex for conferencing. Yeah, very good. Okay, so you understand, right? So people can pick any different software for either very similar tasks or perhaps quite similar tasks. So they have options. We have options. All right. For example, here we have Kahoot and Quizlet. We have Quizlist as well, and there are many others. Yeah. So there are not. It's not enough space for me to put all of the apps icons, right? Okay. So different software have different requirements. Okay. So do you agree? Different software have different requirements. All software are just different. So even though it's actually the same software, okay, let me give you an example. Let's take perhaps my guru. My guru is very close to you, right? So my guru in 2002, yeah, it's when I started working with at this at UPSI. Okay, so the first version of my guru around 2002. Okay, so and now it's already 2021. So do you think these two versions are the same or different? They are the same software, My Guru, but one is the oldest version in 2002, and we have another version now in 2021. So do we consider them as different or same? Different software have different requirements. Yeah, good. Okay, so there are different version, there are different things inside the software, right? So whenever it become different, even it's a just slight changes, I don't say it's slight changes, it's a huge changes. Yeah, so they are all actually different. Okay, version 2002 and 2021 are very different, but they are actually the same name lah. They are the same name but different version. So all software are just different. If you create another software, another version of My Guru with a slight changes, it will be different. Okay, so that's why we said all software are just different. So the key word here, the key point here is the software requirements. Okay, software requirements. So what important is about software requirements is when you are assigned with a project, yes, for to build a software. Okay, let's say that you have been assigned a project to build a software for maybe FSM, science mathematics faculty. Okay, let's say. So whenever you're given a project, yeah, at that time it's like a huge question mark to us, yeah, for the developer, because we don't know anything yet. We don't know what do we have to do, what we have to put inside the app. Okay, we don't know what kind of function that they expect us to put in. Okay, we don't know what are the capabilities of the software. We don't know what are the things that the software cannot do, or the things that is constrained from the software from doing it. Yeah, so software requirements are the thing that we have to get, to obtain, and we don't call it just get, we call it elicit. Yeah, the term that we use, the verb that we use to define the process, the activity to get the software requirements is elicit, because elicit means it's not just by like plucking an apple. Okay, elicit means you have to dig hard and you have to polish whatever you see or you find, and then make sure that it's correct, and then only you can take them in as software requirements. So it's a very tedious activity, something that I can assure you, and you will experience that during assignment 1. Okay, so information must be derived from reliable sources. So when you want to elicit information, you will find the sources first. You will define who or what you will refer to. So for example, you have stakeholders, the human, yeah, to become your sources, or you can also get information from documents or from existing system. All right. Okay, so for example, if we are talking about My Guru, then we have the ICT people, they have the documentation, right? Usually they have that documentation, so we can refer to that documentation and come out or make sure that what we have in the new version will be at par, or at least at par, but of course must be better than the previous version, right? Okay, so now it's the guessing game time. So are you ready? Sekejap, saya stopkan dulu. Ready ya? Sekejap, saya pergi ambil the thing that you have to guess. Sekejap. Okay. So pin my video so that you can see my face on the screen, yeah, on your screen. Okay, so it's a guessing game, a very simple one. I hope you can see my hand here. Nampak tak? Okay, so I have something inside my hand that you have to guess, but there are rules for the game. So you cannot do just while guessing. You have to give me question. You have to ask me question so that you can get the clue to define what is the thing inside my hand. Okay, got that? But the rule is you have to make sure you structure your question so that I can answer your question with yes or no only. Got that? Okay? Okay. So I'll give you 30 seconds to get the clue, and then we'll see whether you can guess what it is. Boleh? Okay, you can use microphone or you can use the chat function. Yeah, you write them down. Okay, come on. 30 seconds, start now. Ask me question, come on. No. Hot, yes. Not daily. No. 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 Not keys. No, not pen drive. It's not a question, Shafiq. Stationery? No. Useful? Yes. It's useful. No, not computer component. Nope. Come on. Ada masa lagi. Come on. Colorful? Nope. Com? It's not a question. Something that can eat? Nope. Some sort of pin? No. Can it dance? No. You can ask about the color. Can it be sliced? No. If it can be sliced, it will mash up inside my hand. Is it long? Not that long. You can see my hand, right? So it's not that long. Is it another hand? What? How can I put another hand in my hand? Can you see my hand now? It's not related. It's not fixed on another hand. Is it valuable? I don't say that it's valuable. Not that expensive. Tak ada. Habis masa dah. Okay? So, tak apa. So, let's play another round. Okay? Okay, keep your answer, Ashwindan. It's not face mask. Okay. So, this is second round. Alright? So, in this game 2, now we consider game 2 lah. Game 1, you not You nak guess pun tak boleh kan, because you don't get any clue. It's just that only 1 or 2 people get yeses, yeah. So it's hard for you to guess. So let me give you, in this game too, I'll give you some clues, okay? So listen carefully. The things in my hand, it is hard. It is actually made from steel, but I don't know whether it's stainless steel or not. But it is made from steel, okay? So as you know, steel color is around like silver, things like that. Okay. I usually use this thing on Monday, Thursday, or Friday. Okay. The third clue is I use the thing to remove something from my fingers and toes. True. So is that question or what? It's a nail cutter. It's a nail clipper. Okay. Nampak? Nail clipper. That's why I go and run and get this nail clipper from my cabinet. Okay, it's a nail clipper or nail cutter. Alright, to remove nails from my fingers and toes. So I usually use this either on Monday, Thursday or Friday. Every week, any of the day, right? Okay, alright, very good. New leader. Okay, so Faik kan tadi kan? So you'll get bonus mark because you managed to get the answer. So good, very good. Okay, let me go to the slide back. Okay, so that is the game. So now, this is some opportunity to get bonus mark as well, yeah? So what lessons have you learned from the games? Basically, what are the lessons that you have learned? We played 2 games. So what lesson have you learned from the games? Siapa want to try out? Okay, asking question that can make us get more ideas in completing a project. So that is the lesson. Asking question can make us get more ideas in completing a project. Asking questions. That is general lessons lah that you can learn, right? But if we want to relate that to our course, software requirements course, get more ideas. Boleh lah. So that is it a lesson because I give you chance to ask question kan in the game 1, but you didn't get much idea about it. What is the things that my hand? So is asking question can actually help you? Dapat hilangkan rasa mengantuk. So that are the lesson that you learn. Lagi? Ada apa lesson lagi? Tak nampak. You have 2 games just now. What are the differences between the 2 games? Apa beza dia? In the first game, I let you ask question. But you go nowhere with the questions. In the second games, I give some clues. Requirement or clue to complete the system. What system? To complete the system, requirement or clue. Okay. Mungkin tak nampak lagi kan? Mungkin tak nampak lagi. Tak apa. I'll give you a chance. I'll describe something about software requirement and I'll let you relate the things between games and the software requirement, yeah? Okay, so these are the clues. These are actually fundamental principles that you have to understand when you learn about software requirements. Okay, so let's start. Number one, software requirements form detailed description about the software to be built. Okay, so software requirement is about description. Okay, number two, software requirements are elicited. Yeah, macam saya kata elicit, elicit information from reliable sources before it can be processed step by step through software requirement process. Okay, it should be elicited from reliable sources. The point in number two. Number three, requirement sources may comprise of stakeholders, usually human, yeah, existing system or documents. I've mentioned this before. And number four, requirements engineers are commonly the one who are responsible for the software requirement process. So can you guess? Can you relate the games with these principles about the software requirement process, the sources, and requirements engineers? Okay, I'll give you another extra clue. Tak boleh tangkap. So can you see my hand there? So my extra clue is, what if I draw something on my hand? So who is this? I don't know, it's a guy or it's a girl, but who is this actually in this process? Do you think they are the sources or they are the requirements engineer? My hand, myself lah, in the games. Was I the requirement engineer, or was I the stakeholders, the person that become your source to get information? Sources, true, Kamaleshwari. True, thank you. Okay? Okay, so you got the extra clue? Can you relate with the game and the software requirement? What lesson you learn? Anything? Tak boleh nak detect, tak boleh nak relate. So what is the lesson? The importance of client involvement. Bolehlah terima. Lagi? Apa lagi yang berlaku dalam game tu? What other things happen? What was the thing during the game? Never waste chances. Chances, it depends. Sometimes if I give you 3 hours to guess, do you think you can get the answer? I only gave you 30 seconds just now, right? But if I give you 3 hours, do you think you can guess the thing? Okay, what else? Illustrate the activities that performed by the system. Which system? We're talking about software requirement now. So, system kat mana pula? You're not talking about system tau. Illustrate the activities tu dah betul lah, hampir lah. But suddenly it messed up by the performed by the system. System mana? Fulfill customers' need is what? Important. Fulfill customer need. Collecting data source or requirements needed. Bolehlah terima. Collecting data source. Collecting data from the source. Yeah. Benefits of getting too much clues to make a project successful. Okay, very good. Okay, so we have to get more clues, or we have to get sufficient clues. Yeah. Okay. All right. Very good. Okay, yeah. We're supposed to go to Mentimeter, but because you have given your answers in the chat function, so we can skip this Mentimeter. Alright, so let me give you the answer. Alright, So this guy, or maybe girl, I don't know. Okay, so is the stakeholder. So you can relate that already, yeah? You know this is stakeholder. So stakeholder is either the person that is actually your potential users, or maybe they are the client that actually hire you to build some software for them. Okay, so they are the people who have information that you should get all the information from them, because they are the reliable sources. Okay, for all the information, because they are the people that are asking for the software. All right, so lesson number 1, we will encounter many kind of people in our quest to get information. So in the game 1, I've shown to you there are people who will be reluctant to give cooperation. Okay, maybe that person is born to be so shy and don't want to talk much, or perhaps they don't want to cooperate, so they just want to let you guess and they just say yes, no, up to you, kan. So you will encounter many people, type of people, different people, how they respond to you. Okay, so lesson number 1. Lesson number 2 is about you. So that is you, the requirements engineer, because you are the person who asking the question to get the information, right? Okay, so lesson number 2 is you need skills to elicit information. Okay, you don't just need chances, you don't need you don't need long time, but you need skills. It doesn't matter how short the time is, but if you have skill on asking question, you will get to that point somehow. Okay, for example, there's someone get yeses just now, because they're asking about, is it hard, is it something hard? So I said yes, but then we can see there are questions after that that are not alert that the things are hard, and so they're asking whether it can be cut or something, right? So that question seems that the person did not alert with the previous answer, the yes answer question, yeah, which is hard. So from there, you should structure your question. So what are the things hard that can be that small inside that hand? Okay, so you have to structure your question and keep on asking for the thing that is possible to have that kind of features. So you will not be asking something that out of the context. So you have to be able to organize the question, so that is called skill as well. Okay, and then also you need to have a good communication skill. Like I said, use questions, structure the question so that I can say yes or no. But there are people who just guess, and I don't know whether is it a question or what, right? So you have to be able to structure your question, a good question to use, yeah. Okay, and then lastly, okay, as you can see, when the process happen, yeah, you ask question to the stakeholder will gives you some answers for that. Okay, so in this context, we call it the information, yeah, the requirements information. So the software requirement process, or to be more specific, is actually elicit information. So software requirement process, there are 4 activities. So the first one is elicit information. So the game are showing you about the first activity in software requirement process. Okay, so lesson number 3 about this process. You need good plan and strategy. You need good plan and strategy to make sure that the process succeeds. Okay, so that are the lessons that you can take from the game. Although it's a very simple game, it's not because we don't want you to drift away, sleepy, kan? So it's not about that. This is something that has to do with software requirement. It has to do with the fundamental principle of this content, yeah. Okay, so extra note. So there is something that is not shown inside the game. Requirement is not just about one thing. So in the game, you just guess about one thing, kan? There's only about one nail clipper. So it's not about any other things. It's not that I have so many things at my hand. No, it's just one thing. But in the software requirement process, we are not talking about just one thing. Uh, it's about lots of things. What are the functions that you have to put inside the app? What are the constraints? What are the capabilities? What are the things um, that we should put in? Any precondition or something. So that are the things that you have to go and find the information. It's not just about one thing. So it means the process are going to be so tedious, so complex, yeah, and will take a lot of time. That are the things that you will experience in your first assignment. So let's go to why is software requirement important. So we want to go quickly on this subtopic. Bad thing can still happen with requirement, meaning that even though we have collect some requirements, bad things can still happen. Okay, so that define why requirement process become so important. Yeah. So let's say software project. What client expected is a handsome guy, and what was delivered is something that is more handsome. Okay, so the client might have given some requirement on about this. Yeah, so what was delivered is something look like that, but in terms of quality, it was really bad. Meaning that so the requirements engineer managed to get some requirements, but they cannot produce a good quality one. Okay, so that's why the process will be important. The things that you learn inside the course will be important for you, yeah, when you want to build a software. Okay, this is another example. SpongeBob expectation. So the client say, I want a SpongeBob theme for my birthday party, for example. And then, yeah, reality, it comes like that. So it's not something expected by the client, and the customer or client will be disappointed. Yeah, they will be very upset with you. Okay, so another example. So is this bad? So the customer requirements, the thing must have one trunk. So this is about one thing. Yeah? It has one trunk, have four legs, can carry loads, both passenger and cargo, and it should be dark gray or black in color. So what do you think it is? Elephant, yeah. It should be an elephant, right? Okay, what if you give them this? Is that an elephant? So you give something that have one trunk, although it's not a real trunk there. Have four legs. I can see four legs. One is at the behind there. Okay, can carry loads, passenger and cargo. So we have this person, passenger, and also it can actually carry some heavy things. And then the color, dark gray or black in color. Yeah, you can see it's very dark color here. And you also provide them extra value, yeah, which is the thing can give meals as well. So do you think your customer or client will be satisfied if these are the things that you give them? No. Huh? This is not an elephant. It's a fake elephant. Yeah, it's, I don't know, is it a cow or a bull or buffalo? I don't know. Okay, so it has one trunk, but this is not what they want. Okay, so it's like you're disappointed, you make them disappointed. Okay, so this is not right. So we go to real histories. Why software requirements process are very, very important. So if you can look at the history, this is a huge history of project failures. Yeah, so there are names that I think you already familiar with. Yeah, we have the first one, the HMS Titanic. This is actually a ship. I don't know whether you know about Titanic. Have you watched the Titanic movie or not? Okay, so this is a real story. Yeah, in 1912. So what are the reasons? They said it's because of poor requirements design. So what happened at that time was, okay, the Titanic ship is actually a very huge and a very advanced. They have very advanced technology, yeah, at that time, yeah. But they actually meet some iceberg on the way to somewhere. So what happened was they actually have sensor to detect the iceberg, but unfortunately the iceberg, they actually detect the iceberg from, what you can say, the iceberg is not actually, it's something that you think that you saw it from far away, but it's actually just under the ship. Okay, if you know how an iceberg look, you can see the point is pointed out from the surface of the sea, but actually, if you can see down below there, under the sea, it's actually covered a lot of spaces, and the ship has already, um, what we say that, they actually collided with the iceberg before they actually realized that they have hit the iceberg before they, because they see the iceberg from far away, but under the sea the iceberg is actually so big and they cannot see that. Yeah, so from the surface of the sea they can only see the point, the top point of the iceberg. So what they don't know is it's become bigger. It's not just one point, a small iceberg, but it's actually a big iceberg that have been kept from the side below the sea, under the sea. Yeah, so that's how we can say that the sensor did not work much. So so they actually blame the requirement people. So that's why we said requirements, requirements, requirements. You are important. When you are doing requirements, you are very important people that will actually can be blamed whenever something bad happen to that technology or the thing or the software. Okay, so if you can see like Apollo 13 as well, it's all about requirements. Yeah, poor requirement design, insufficient requirement verification, poor requirement. So everything is about requirements. So if you're working on requirements, so make sure that your requirements that you have obtained, they are sufficient, they are telling the truth, they are they can look forward, or you can be more proactive, yeah, so that you can avoid um, any tragedy when using your software. Okay, we don't expect you to create something that can actually cause some fatal cases, right? But if you are doing any important software related to safety or something, yeah, so you have to be more careful. All right. Okay, so requirements are very important. That is the moral of the story for today. Okay, so what if you have gathered some information for the requirements, you have developed them, and then you have make the software available for the user, and then suddenly only you realize that they have missed something. You have missed something from the something important, some important function. You have missed them from to be inside the software. So what happened is the cost, yeah, if you only realize about that at the end of the process, at the end of the software product development process, which means that you have create them, you have code them, you have delivered that to the client. So when you just realize at that time, meaning it was too late, it's already too late. Okay, so what happened was, if you have to go back and make some correction, it will cause a huge cost. Yeah, it will cost you a huge cost uh, to bear. So what we should do when you're doing requirement, you have to make sure that you get all this sufficient information and did not miss anything at all, because once you miss anything, you go and deliver to your client, then your client will be very upset. You have to do the correction, you have to go back and get the requirements and then go design, etc, etc. So it means a lot of cost. Okay, okay, so if you find anything miss out, so meaning that you have to settle that problem during the requirements itself. Don't let it away through the process until the end. All right, okay, these are the things that the cost that can happen, so you can read that on. And these are why we need requirement engineering to get the software requirements. So requirement engineering is the software requirement process, yeah. So why, these are among of the reasons why. So you can go and read this. Maybe we can go through this slide back during week 2 next week. Okay, and for your self-learning. Okay, so that's the end of the lecture today. For your self-learning task, yeah, what you have to do, list out all the new important terms related to software requirements. Every single terms that you just found out maybe, or you have learned from principal ke, list out all the terms that you think related to software requirements, all the terms that you found inside this slide, yeah. So find their formal definition in the IRAP glossary. Yeah, IRAP is International Requirements Engineering Board. Yeah, so they produce some glossary. So this is version 1.6. I've given the glossary in my guru. I provided inside your my guru. Go get it, but list out the term first, find the information, find the definition, the formal definition. Because the things that we discussed just now is the informal definition. Because I want you to understand the relation, I want you to understand what are the things that why you have to learn about software requirement process, why you have to know who is the stakeholders, how you should manage the stakeholders so that you can get all the information, or how you can ask question, how you can set the strategy and plan. So there are the things that you will inside this course. Okay, so make sure that you understand every single term that I mentioned, because when I describe something that you don't know, how can you understand, right? Okay, so make sure this is for your own good. Do this self-learning task. You don't have to submit, but this is something that you have to do, yeah, for your own good. Okay, so I provide you some infographics related to definition, so you can take a look. Okay, all right, so that's the end of the class. So do you have any question? Ada soalan tak? I hope you have some good kata apa? You can see what are the things that you will learn inside the course, yeah. So do you have any question? Ada soalan? Tak ada. Tak ada? Ada. Semua dah tidur. Siapa tadi yang nak tidur tadi tu? Okay, tak ada ya. Okay, if there's no question, so I'll meet you again next week. Make sure you form the 5 people, yeah, you form the group. Send me the names through WhatsApp group. Okay, so that I know who already has group, who has not have group. Okay, all right, so that's it. See you again next week. Bye. Assalamualaikum.